What was it? Because deep down inside you did not want the ketchup, or were you scared of the harsh judgment,
the ridicule, the stares
of our waiter?
No, I just want to be left alone.
Okay.
I felt the mayonnaise was good enough.
All right. Now we were talking today about strange occurrences, life-altering occurrences, that have been happening in Montreal over the past decade, I suppose, where the infrastructure is not to be trusted.
Yes. Oh.
Stories of 8-meter sections of concrete falling down in the Ville Marie tunnel, overpasses collapsing, killing people. And then there was the one particular story of a slab of concrete falling off, just a panel falling off a building.
Decorative panel.
A decorative panel.
Yeah, on the side of a hotel. Yeah.
Falling off a building, slamming into a glass-covered restaurant, and crushing a girl on her birthday before her fiancé, who lost not only his fiancé, but his fingers. How would you deal with that, Mark?
Wow. Way that put me on the spot. I'd like to say I'd like turn into the Hulk and start going nuts in the moment.
Yeah, but you already lost some
I'm
fingers.
not the Hulk, and that's not happening. And I literally don't think I have an answer to what you're asking.
How about you, Matthew?
It's like the weirdest thing to answer.
It's a very weird thing. I mean, she's crushed.
Yes.
For
So
sure.
is
Like
he.
there's and my fingers
emotionally.
Presumably you would be emotionally crushed.
Emotionally crushed, and my
And so are your fingers.
and no more fingers.
Yeah. So you have a physical reminder at all times. Every time you reach to open a door, try to play a video game, use the television remote. You're reminded.
Yeah. Of that time that I let her sit in that seat, not me.
It's her choice. She wanted that seat. It was her birthday.
It's so much worse. I don't know. Are there other concrete slabs falling that I can get underneath? Because I think that's probably my go-to.
My go-to would probably be years of counseling.
Years of counseling instead of just a quick and direct suicide?
I mean, I see your point.
Suicide of passion.
A suicide of passion, yeah. I mean, I see your point, Matthew, but at the same time, I still have a list of 60-plus burgers that we need to eat.
This
So, guys, how about those Habs?
is very selfish.
The Expo's coming back.
I'm thinking of the listeners. Imagine if they didn't have a podcast to keep them company Wednesdays at lunch.
That's true. I don't know. I'm not good at dealing with stuff like that, so I would just not. I don't know. In the moment, it's horrifying.
That's
so
a
another
heavy
thing
topic
I've been
for lunch.
Another thing I've been
Yes,
discussing.
it's way too heavy.
Another thing I've been discussing lately is how I like drinking out of small cups.
That's been weird.
So you've been
You
talking
mentioned
about
that
these
earlier.
two things simultaneously, but with the same weight.
Yeah, I think they are of equal importance.
Yeah, and he's got small hands. It's normal.
I don't think I have small hands, but I
man,
do
those are
love small cups.
Little baby hands.
You know, like in Scary Movie when the guy is the second one who he's serving the mashed potatoes with his little baby hand, like that.
You guys don't get to
close.
see it because it's a podcast, but he's got freakishly little hands.
I'll Instagram my hands for the listeners with a lot of very small cups to really accentuate how
Make
big
them look
my hands
extra
are.
big.
Or with very big cups like we're drinking out of right
These
now.
cool zombie cups you have. I like these things.
They're like monstrous tiki
cups,
yeah,
tiki cups.
I
I guess
don't know.
we'd call them. Yeah.
But I like drinking out of small cups. I've been thinking that maybe, you know, when you go to a dentist's office or something and they have those little paper cones.
So do you have a sippy straw with your little cup?
No, that's ridiculous.
Well, I don't know. It feels like they go hand in hand.
Well, no, because the small cups are disposable.
But the sippy cup you can't spill.
Yeah.
And you spill quite a bit.
I'm a spiller.
Yeah.
I spilled a bunch right before recording today.
You did.
And I keep leaning my elbow in it because it's right on the corner.
It's drying up. It's drying
It's
up.
not completely
So
dry
cold.
yet.
No.
So those little
Cone
paper
cups.
cones of water,
Yeah.
I'd like a whole bunch of them. But I'd like them to be foldable or something so I could keep them in my pocket and just pull them out, whap, and then pour whatever I want in there.
Well, you
and have a
could.
little drink.
Why do you
I feel
have
like it's
cups in
fancy
your
to have a
pocket?
little cut. Just so I can always have a drink.
You just pull a cup out. You just always have to have a drink. You could have a flask in your pocket.
No. I mean, any kind of drink. If I find a water fountain,
you can fill up a flask with water.
If it's open up my little sippy cup, my little cone, fill that with water. When I'm
sucking
it out of the pipe.
Are you like Garth in Wayne's World when he pulls out, like, if you're gonna spew into this, and then he pulls out the little cone-shaped water cup from the water dispenser?
Yes, exactly. One of those
out of his pocket. You know, in the car with the
I'd
girl.
like one of those.
Yeah, and then Bohemian Rhapsody comes.
Exactly. Out. But I'd like to have just like little casual beverages out of it. Maybe a little coffee, a little water, maybe a Perrier, something a little fancier.
Ooh, Perrier.
You know, if we're just standing around, we're on the street. Let's say, "Hey, Mark, good running into you." Say, "Hey," and you say, "What you got there?" And I say, "A little cone of Perrier." You're impressed.
Well, you know me with my Perrier and my club soda. Like, I would tackle you for it, but I might make fun of your little sippy cup and say, you know, that's you. You can have that.
So basically, we're roundly agreeing that little cones for sipping on are not fashionable.
I'm saying they're also not practical because you can never put it down. It's a cone.
That's true.
You got always
you'd have to buy a
only
holder
when it's empty.
Drink.
Then I could put it down face down.
I'm gonna blow your mind. You do know that they have collapsible cups, right?
What?
It's like a flat disc, but it's collapsible.
No.
And
I've seen those, and you pull them out like a kaleidoscope.
It's like exactly like a kaleidoscope.
Wow. Where?
On the
internet.
How do I Google that?
Collapsible cup. Yeah.
Telescopic cup?
No, just whatever. Just collapsible
cup. I would assume.
Kaleidoscope?
Yeah, there you go.
That's maybe a thing.
You
know what? Speaking of inventing things, backpacks.
Yes.
Backpacks. We were talking about this today. We were walking, and it was hot, and I had a backpack on. You know what happens in the summer? You tend to sweat through your back when you're holding a backpack. And
sweaty back mark.
You want to sit down, and you want to sit down, and you take your backpack off, and you're wearing a black shirt or a white shirt, and it's see-through and all wet,
or some other color. Like imagine.
I guess anything.
Like a powder blue.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter. Oh,
so
yeah,
much
powder
worse.
blue. Yeah, and anyways, regardless of the color of shirt you're wearing, you're all sweaty, and your shoulders are sweaty. Like, has anyone not invented a vented pack or something that doesn't happen? You know, wouldn't that just be a nice thing to have? Like, it's very practical to have a backpack in the summer. You were wearing a satchel today.
A side bag.
Yeah.
We call it a
messenger
satchel.
Bag, you know?
We call it messenger bag, satchel, you know, anything but a merce. And, you know, so basically you have a backpack on because, you know what, it's practical, equal weight on both shoulders. I can walk longer distance. I don't know, because you don't have to switch at shoulders.
Well, yeah, it's exactly what we were saying.
And
you're
then,
saying you get the sweaty back and you're switching your shoulders, switching the other shoulder, and your shoulder's comfortable. What are you going to do?
We got to figure that out. Someone needs to figure that out. I figured like you would make a fortune if you could invent a backpack. And I'm not talking about like putting fans into it. No, invent a proper cooling system. That this is a non-issue.
Is it like a refrigerated system?
Whatever it is. No moving parts. Nothing that you need to charge a battery for. Like if that wouldn't make any sense. Something
proper
that
ventilation
would,
somehow.
Yeah, there's got to be a way.
No,
I mean, you know, North Face or someone's got to thought of this at some point.
Now, Mark, I think what business you need to get into is having business. Ideas, and then hiring people to make your ideas reality.
Yeah. Just kind of want to be like dance puppets. You know, kind of one of those things.
You could be the worst boss ever.
Oh yeah.
You go sit there in your office with a sweaty back.
The overseer.
Yeah.
You know,
but
that's what I do.
See you also like being in an office that you make sure it's like a foreman's office where you literally get to look down on all your employees.
Oh, definitely. That's since the overseer point. You know, like I want to look down and be like, just point at people. But yeah.
What are you doing when I noticed you snapped and pointed and you looked at a certain spot? What was that individual doing?
Oh, that was definitely pointing at you on the work floor. I'm like, this guy is just slacking off, you know.
I feel like you do it periodically just to instill fear in people.
Yeah.
But you do it, and
you look over your shoulder while you're pointing at them and talk to a stranger that they can't see, and nor are they even there. But it's just all mind games.
But it's got to be in a way where it's like...
I could be talking about anything. I could be having a conversation with someone behind me in the room that they can't see, and I just happen to be pointing at the whole factory, but this one guy thinks, oh my God, the boss is pointing
exactly.
at me. Boom, that guy's the most productive guy for the next month.
Exactly. You're pointing down on the work floor, on the floor, looking over your shoulder saying, you know, Jamiroquai hasn't had an album in a while. And that employee is terrified.
I definitely would not be saying that.
They paint their own picture.
Because I have the latest Jamiroquai album.
These employees are painting their own picture, though, because they're doing a bad job and they see someone pointing at them. They're going to be worried about that.
Sure,
but
if
they're doing a good job. They'll be like, oh, he's
well, you know what? Speaking of
work.
that, you know how I'd be pointing as an overseer? The problem you've had with your winter jacket that you ordered last March, you would not have this problem.
I don't want to get into it.
It's the middle of summer. You still have that winter jacket?
I don't have the winter jacket.
He was on the phone with them all day today.
I was arguing over the internet, actually, because they won't provide me a phone number to yell at them.
Yeah, he's Summer arguing about a winter jacket he ordered 4 months ago.
Well, what's the rush?
Well, it's not the point, the principle of the thing.
Okay.
See, if they had an overseer...
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm now scheduled to get this winter jacket in October when I order in March.
That sounds like a pretty good time to get it.
And
that's what I said. You're not going to need it. They
don't know that I don't have an Antarctic excursion planned.
Aren't you going on an Alaskan cruise?
That Alaskan cruise in September. It's going to be awfully chilly without my winter jacket that I ordered in March. It's unreasonable. They refuse to give me a refund because it's been more than 30 days. I still don't have a coat. It's unreasonable.
It's unreasonable, for sure.
I don't want to get into it. You know what we should get into?
You know what? I do want to talk about those backpacks really quickly. Okay, I'm just going to throw this out there. Ice pack. It is a backpack. It's going to melt. Made of ice.
You know what? We threw it out there. We threw it out there, but eventually it would condensate and still get wet on your back.
I guess. What if it's completely made of ice? What if it is an ice sculpture backpack?
Then it would weigh a ton.
Okay, that's probably not a great idea. But what about
that's why you're not the inventor?
Straps would snap.
Well, on hot nights,
be even wetter.
On hot nights, I will take my comforter sheet. Mm-hmm. Haven't done it in a while because I don't have a giant freezer anymore. But I would take my comforter,
put it in the freezer,
throw it into the freezer, take a bunch of clothes, put it into the freezer. I wake up in the morning, put on my frozen clothes, aren't
they only cold for moments?
Yeah, but it's a nice.
Well, it's like when you take something out of the dryer; it's nice and warm for moments.
You're right, though.
But you enjoy putting that on in the wintertime.
But then they're very damp. They are very damp.
Yeah, I was going to say that's still a very. Not to mention the monkey in the room or elephant in the room. How you could be the monkey in the room at this point.
It's very racist.
But literally. But who does that?
Well, if you have a big enough freezer, why not? You put whatever you want in. I got one freezer for my body.
I think it's less weird if you told me a hidden body in there, then I threw my clothes for the next morning.
Different freezers.
Sheets in there. Yeah, separate freezers. My
I look in your guys' fridge and I just see a bunch of carcasses, not even carcasses, fetuses, unformed fetuses, and I'm the monster. Putting my comforter in a freezer.
All right. Let's get to
the burgers,
the monkey in the room, and rate these burgers. Matthew.
Yeah.
What did you think of your burger? Grinder, Griffintown,
69.
Episode 69. Major burger eating experience. No oysters for you.
I thought very highly of it. It was very dark. Very loud.
Yeah.
I
prefer a bright lit, quiet place?
I feel like the louder places they're a little more expensive. The quieter places, in my experience, you'd think a fancy restaurant would have no sound, just silence. Everyone should be very quiet.
The near silent tapping of forks on a plate.
Yeah, when someone at the other end of the restaurant's done because they put their fork down a little too loud.
You hear that? You hear when a glass is set down on a coaster.
Yeah, but the opposite is true. I've noticed in these 69 episodes. This place was super fancy. Once again, another place where I've worn just probably the cheapest T-shirt I had, just a white.
Yeah, you always seem to be wearing these scrappy threads born.
Well, this is just a white T-shirt. This is American Apparel. They don't even have them here.
That doesn't even exist anymore.
Exactly.
Some kind of our business shirt you got.
No, it's vintage.
All right, okay.
I don't know where we're getting at here. I'm talking about I like the burger. It was good.
Please rate your burger, Matthew. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's been a while since we've gone through the rating scale.
Yeah.
1?
Yes.
Go ahead. A poison burger. 3.
Yep.
Not good. It's a not good burger. 5. It's a fine burger. 7 is a good burger. And a 10 is a $100 burger. Doesn't need to cost $100. It needs to taste like you'd be willing to spend $100 on it. The rest of the numbers you can figure out yourself.
I mentioned while I was eating it that it tasted like